Howdy y'all, my name is Conner Moehring, and today we're going to be discussing the Texas Hill Country dance halls located in the Texas Hill Country. But before we can get to the importance and the roles that the Texas dance halls still hold in the communities today, we first have to discuss how the Texas Hill Country was settled. Many German settlers came from Germany in the mid to early 1830s and 40s. They came with the ideas of cheap land and a new start to their lives and for their families. Most of the Texas Germans came in through Galveston and Indianola, Texas, and most of them settled in the German Belt, which is located from Schulenburg and Weimar, Texas in the east, up through New Braunfels and Boerne, Texas, extending all the way out to far west to the far west hill country in Fredericksburg and Mason, Texas. The early lives of these Texas settlers, these Texas pioneers and settlers, was rough. Many of them were ranching and farming on small scales with just their family. The ranchers mainly raised goats, sheep, and cattle, while the farmers were raising a lot of cotton and corn. These early Texans had to deal with harsh environments while trying to carve out a life for them in the early Texas frontier. We all know that the weather here in Texas can change at a snap of a finger or a drop of a hat. The hot summers and the cold winters were hard to raise their crops and irrigate their fields, as well as constant fear of Native American attacks in the area. For many of these early settlers, life was hard, and they usually came together in a meeting place to help develop and ensure the well-being of their farms and ranches in the area. This is the early start of the Verein, which was an agreement with the local communities to come together for the betterment of all their ranches and lands in the area. At these meeting places, after having multiple meetings in the same area, small communities started to develop around these places. And one of these places is located in West Comal County, 28 miles west of New Braunfels, Texas. Their Anhalt Dance Hall was constructed in the late 1850s by German settlers. A small building was set up on this site, and they had many meetings, which was an all-day event. They would come in the mornings with their family, and many would travel for a day or two to come to these meetings. Business would be conducted in the mornings and to the afternoon with a picnic lunch break, and at night there would be a dance and a dinner held by the Verein. Today, these dance halls are still operating and continuing today, holding on to the early German community traditions and cultures. Anhalt Dance Hall holds an annual Oktoberfest and Mayfest, which still holds the German culture and traditions in the community that it still is in. The Verein later turned into an early mutual insurance firm with a group of for the early Texas farmers and ranchers, since many insurance companies have not yet moved that far west into the Texas Hill Country, as well as they saw it too much of a risk. So the only people that were looking out for these early pioneers were the other pioneers that they moved out here with themselves. The importance and roles of the Texas Hill Country, of the dance halls in the Texas Hill Country, was a gathering place for all people to come together. Ranch owners, people who tenant farmers who leased the land, like sharecroppers for the larger owners in the area. It was a place for them to come off their property and their land, to take a break from their rough life and have some form of entertainment, which most of these early people did not have any forms of entertainment. Like I said earlier, it was an all-day event with businesses happening from deals that shaped the communities that they lived in, to selling of land, cattle, and crops, to the sharing and trading of goods from San Antonio, New Braunfels, and Fredericksburg, the larger communities in the area. But I think the most important and the cooler aspect of it is that the relationships that came from the communities, from these dance halls, and from these dances themselves. Many marriages came out of this, like my grandparents. So I am here today because of these Texas dance halls, which to me is cool that I can still go to these same dance halls and I can still scoot my boots across the same wooden dance floors that countless of other German Texans have done over the past. So just to recap this today, that the Texas dance halls hold an important part in the Texas Hill Country community. It holds the tradition and values of the German culture, as well as the importance and the impact that it has played in the development and the role of the Texas Hill Country. Thank you, and that's all. Have a blessed day.